in the Americans with Disabilities Act, there are things around what we would call reasonable accommodations, right? So that's not just, discrimination, like I'm not going to rent to you if you have a disability. No, it's actually they have to make an affirmative move to protect, to make you included in your ability to come into a building. Ramps are an obvious example, but working elevators, bars and showers, accessible fuse boxes. I'm just listing some things that we've worked on in the past year. It can also, disabilities obviously are not always mobility or visual. Disabilities can definitely be of a mental or emotional nature. And that could be the type of thing that you need protections against when, in terms of how your landlord's workers interact with you, or of how you have to process certain things. One very common situation in our line of work is what they call hoarding, right? But which has this very negative thing. But people, for whatever reason, they accumulate things, and the landlord has to make to make acceptances for when something comes out of what can be a diagnosis, right? So one thing I want to harp on that I don't have time to explain the process of today is if you have a disability that can include an illness, a chronic illness, or a temporary disability, you have the right to have a reasonable accommodation. Reach out to our organization, reach out to St. Nick's, and talk to us about the steps that you can take to request a reasonable accommodation in your housing, because it's not just discrimination in finding, keeping housing, but it's about making sure that where you live is accessible to you, right? It's hard to think of anything more important than that.